Hello, welcome to this week's Patreon practice. So we are going to start lying down for this one. So switch off your phone, make sure you're not going to be disturbed for the next 30-40 minutes, and make sure you're nice and warm as well. So lie back down on your mat. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees drop open. You can rest your hands on you or alongside you, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And then just close down your eyes. Take a couple of deeper, longer breaths. Just let yourself settle. And start to connect to body and breath. Let shoulders drop down towards the floor. Relax the muscles of your face. See if you can start to let go of everything that you have going on at the moment. I read there was a meme on Facebook yesterday. It said a mind full of positive thoughts is better than a mind full of negative thoughts, but a mind full of no thoughts is better still. So that's what we're doing with our yoga. It's just seeing if we can start to create those spaces of no thought. And you're never going to be able to stop thinking completely. The mind's always going to work the nature of the mind, but it's creating those spaces if you can. So just take a couple more breaths here. At the end of your next out breath, just take your hands behind your thighs, draw your knees in towards each other, and then just gently bring the knees in towards the chest. Just take the hands around the legs and start to find a little rock from side to side. And then just starting to circle the knees. One direction and then taking it back opposite direction. And we're going to take the feet back down onto the mat, keeping the knees bent, and take the right foot onto the left thigh, so coming through to an eye of the needle. If you want to just stay here, that's fine. If you're happy to draw your left leg in towards you, we can thread the hands around the back of the left thigh. Just have a couple of breaths there. Just gently feeling into your outer right hip. And there is the option to straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling if you wish. Just nice and mindful, we're not forcing anything. And then bend your left knee, take your left foot back down onto your mat. And just as the legs are now, drop them over to your right hand side. Oh. Make sure you've got enough room. You can turn your gaze out to the left. That's my stomach rumbling, excuse me. And then inhale, bring the head back to centre, bring the legs back through to centre. We're going to go to the other side. So if you take the right foot down onto the mat, cross the left foot onto the right thigh, and again you can stay there or thread the hands behind the right thigh and draw the leg in towards you. You may notice you feel tighter on one side. There is the option to extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. Just remember to stay connected to your breath and keep your hips down on the mat. You're not lifting the hips up away from the mat. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And then bending the right knee, taking the right foot back down onto the mat and dropping your legs as they are over to the left and turn to look out over your right shoulder. Inhale, bring yourself back through centre. Uncross the left leg, we'll bring both knees back in towards the chest. And then a little rock up and down the mat, so up and down the spine. And come up through to seated. And then come over onto your knees, as long as that's comfortable for you. And we're going to tuck our toes underneath. Now if you need to keep your hands down on the mat for some support too. If you're comfortable to bring the hands up onto the thighs, we'll do that. And then place your hands on your shoulders and start to circle through the elbows. So you start to get into your shoulders. And take it both directions. Perfect. And then just releasing the arms, clasp the hands in front of you, circle into your wrists. Again, both directions. And then give the hands a shake. Release the hands back down onto the mat. Untuck the toes. Just pad the tops of your feet on your mat. And then turn your fingers to face outwards. We're just going to start to circle the body now. So just moving through the hips, through the shoulders. Just starting to build some heat, some warmth in the body. And then coming back through centre, placing the hands to face forwards again. Just a couple rounds of happy cat, angry cat here. So drop the belly, lift the chin and the tailbone. Maybe just linger there for a moment. And then on your out breath, opposite way, so you're doming the back, chin to chest, tucking tailbone. Inhale to draw it forwards. Exhale to take it back. Let's do one more time. Inhale forwards. Exhale round the spine. And then come back through to a flat back, tuck your toes and find your way into your downwards facing dog. So just padding out the feet if that feels okay. If you'd rather find stillness, if that's better for you, then coming through to stillness. Just noticing if and where you feel a stretch, how this pose feels for you today. And then walk your feet forwards to the front of your mat. So once you get there, find your halfway lift, and as you exhale, fold in, head to leg. So just have a couple of breaths in your forward bend. So this is first thing in the morning for me. So I'm keeping my knees bent a little bit. You can keep your knees bent as much as you need to, or you can straighten the legs. And then keeping the knees bent, as long as it feels okay for you, we'll round the spine up through to standing. If you prefer to come up with a flat back, then obviously doing that instead, whichever one works best for you. Okay, and then we're going to move, start to find a little bit of movement. So intertwine the fingers, press the palms away from you, so standing up nice and tall, grounding into the feet. Lengthening, and then on your exhale, tip over to your right hand side. Again, just linger there for a breath. Come back through to centre on the in breath, and on your out breath over to the left. Inhale, bring it back through centre. So keep your spine in its kind of natural organisation. You're not finding a back bend here. Keep pressing the palms away and then just gently twist round to your right. So it's just a small movement. There's not a lot happening, you're not going back too far. Back through centre, over to the left. Again, just a small movement. You can turn your head to the left a little more if that feels okay. Come back through centre, and then on your out breath, release the hands, clasp them behind you. I'm just going to give myself a bit more space. So knuckles reach away from you on the inhale, lifting up through the heart, and on your exhale, bending the knees and finding a forward fold. So here you might choose to just give the head a little bit of a nod, yes and no. Focusing on the breath. And then on your out breath, just start to come back up. So kind of find a halfway lift. Hands come back down to the lower back and then release the hands, place them down on the mat, step back through into your plank. Now if you want to drop your knees down onto your mat first, we're going to lower all the way to the floor. So there's a roll forwards, elbows bend behind you as we lower down. And tuck your toes. Inhale through your cobra pose. Lift up through the heart. And we're going to take this back into Anahatasana, our melting heart. So hips come up and back. Forehead or chin down onto the mat. Hips stack over the knees or thereabouts. Maybe you can come up onto tented fingers. And then bring your forearms back down onto the mat. We're going to find our way to our forearm plank. So you're going to bring yourself forwards. Engage the core, tuck the toes. If it feels okay, we're lifting the knees up away from the mat. Gaze is down. So core is strong. Gaze fixed on one spot. Try not to tip the pelvis forwards and lift the tailbone. Almost as sense your tailbone is tucked. And then we're going to come up through to plank. So come up onto your one left hand maybe, up onto the right hand, you're in plank. Hips up and back, downwards facing. So take a breath. And then we're going to step or jump the feet forward between the hands, a little bend in the knees, bring it forwards. Find your halfway lift. And then as you exhale, fold in, heel toe your feet together. So you've got a forward fold with the legs together. Take one more breath. And we're going to bend the knees and find our way into Utkatasana. So coming through into our chair pose. Weight in the heels, lightness in the toes. I'm going to pick up the right foot and step it back nice and slowly with control into a high lunge. So just adjust yourself as you need to once you've landed. And then keep the right arm up but bend the elbow. The left hand's going to come behind you. You can hold on to your t-shirt if you can't reach your opposite fingers. Just feeling into your body. Can you bend that left knee a little bit more? And then release the arms, take the back up alongside the ears. We're going to open up to the right, Virabhadrasana 2. Shoulders relax. And then on your out breath, Parshvakonasana. So left forearm maybe to your thigh or the hand to the floor. Spinning open through the right shoulder. Again, just lengthening into your body. Using your next in-breath, we'll come up through Warrior 2. And we're going to take Skandasana over to the right. So bending the right knee, left leg straightens as you come down for Skandasana. If you need to, excuse my back, if If you need to drop your hands to the floor, do. For support, you can stay up higher if that works better for you. Just giving your body a little time in each of the poses. And let's move back over Warrior Two to the left, so left knee bends. And then you're just going to pivot to face the front edge of your mat, so you're moving onto the ball of the right foot. Hips and shoulders square forwards. And we're going to step back into that Utkatasana at the front of your mat. So inhale, right foot steps forwards. You're back in your chair pose. So working through to the other side, inhale, left foot lifts. And again, nice and slowly with control, step the left foot back behind you. So keep the left arm up this time. The right hand will come down and up behind you. If you can, holding opposite fingers. If not, just holding onto your t-shirt wherever you can comfortably reach it. Releasing out the arms, and you're going to find your way into Virabhadrasana 2 to your left. So left heel grounds, arms extend, gaze out over your right middle finger. Have a sense that you're really grounding into your feet and that your thighs are almost rolling away from each other. So strong legs. And then Parsvakonasana. So again, if you wanted to take your right forearm to your thigh, you could. Left arm reaches out over the ear, unless you've got shoulder issues, in which case it's coming to, the left hand's coming to your waist. Take one more breath. Coming back up through Virabhadrasana 2, and then we're taking that Skandasana to the left. So feet kind of move, left knee bends, right leg straightens. Again, drop the hands down to the floor if you need some support. Taking one more breath. We're going to find our way back into that Virabhadrasana 2. So coming back up, right knee bends. But then instead of stepping the foot forward again, we're going to pivot the hands down to frame the right foot, step back into plank. So a little roll forwards on the toes, you can lower to the floor or to Chaturanga. Inhale through your back bend and then linger in your back bend for a moment or two. And then hips up and back. Downwards facing dog. Just heavy through the heels. Look for a stretch in your calves, as well as the hamstrings. Engage the pelvic floor just very gently, the lower abdomen just very gently. And then from there, on your next inhale, look forwards, you're going to soften the knees, step, jump, float the feet forward between the hands. Find your halfway lift, and as you exhale, fold in, head to legs. Now you can keep your hands on the floor, you can take your hands to blocks or bricks, or toughest, peace fingers around your big toes. Take your weight into your right leg, and you're going to take your left foot out to the side, keeping your left toes in line with your right toes. So you're just lifting that left foot away. You might have both hands down on the floor if you're struggling with holding on to the big toes. One more breath. Left foot comes down. We're going to do the other side. So weight onto the left foot. Right leg lifts. Keep breathing. Right foot comes down. Find your halfway lift, and then on your out breath, fold in. Tip a little bit of weight into the front of the feet. very conscious. One day I'm going to set my hair on fire with this candle. Go one more breath. And then inhale, look up, find your halfway lift. Soften the knees, take the hands to the waist. Inhale, come all the way through to upright. And then turn out to face whichever side on your mat. So it might be that it's just easier for you to turn to face the camera. So once you're facing the long edge of your mat, turn your right foot out towards the front of your mat. Inhale, lengthen your arms, soften your right knee, tip down for Trikonasana. Roll your shoulders away from the ears. You've got the option to straighten the right leg if it feels okay. And then lengthen up through the left arm and draw the left arm forwards over your ear. Just lengthening through the left side body. If you don't want to look up, you can always look forwards or down. And then take the left arm back up and bring the hands to your heart space. So we're going to take a bend in that right knee, just give yourself a bit more space. Bend in the right knee, so you might step the left foot forwards a bit. And we're going to take this into a balance, but you want your chest stay facing the wall. You're not turning to face down. So it's like a variation of your half moon. You might just float the left leg a little up away from the mat. Just come up to your own degree. And then step it back, come back through to upright, turn the feet to parallel. Let's do the other side. Left foot out towards the back edge of your, or front edge of your mat, depends which way you're facing. Lengthen your arms on the in-breath, soften your left knee, Trikonasana. Shoulders roll away from the ears. You can straighten out the left leg if it feels okay. And if you want the add-on, we'll reach the right arm forwards over our ear. Really stretching into the side body. And then take the right arm back up, bring the hands to the heart. A little bend in that left knee. I'll just step the right foot forwards a bit. And again, we're going to find that balancing half moon pose, variation. Take one more breath, and then step the right foot back behind you. Come back through to standing upright, turn the feet to face parallel. Hands to the waist, lengthen the spine on your in-breath, soften the knees, and on your out-breath, fold forwards just halfway. And you can choose to stay here, or you can reach the arms out alongside the ears to engage through the core. Think nice and strong. Take one more breath. Bring the hands back to the heart centre. You're going to place the right hand on the floor to a block or a brick and extend the left arm up towards the ceiling. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. And if that's feeling good, left hand to the lower back, or it tucks into the top of the right thigh. Left arm reaches back up on the in-breath, on the out-breath bring it down, we'll swap it over. So reaching the right arm up towards the ceiling, lengthening there, shoulders roll away from the ears. We're not letting that right shoulder roll in. Roll it open. And then maybe right hand to the low back, or tucks into the top of the left thigh. Take the right arm back up towards the ceiling, bend, bring the hand back down onto your mat, and then you're just going to pivot to face the front edge of your mat so that you come into a lunge. Walk your right foot out to the right an inch or so, so you've got your lizard pose. I'm going to keep my left knee lifted, but you could drop the knee down onto the mat if you wish. If you've got the space, you can come down onto your forearms. Couple of breaths, keep the shoulders rolling away from the ears. Your right knee just gently drawing in towards your shoulder. find that flying lunge. So come back up onto your hands. You might walk the right foot back in up towards the midline a bit more. Right arm reaches underneath the right leg. And you can choose to stay there with the right hand down. You can float the arms up away from the mat, or you can bind the hands behind your back. Keep the chest open, one more breath. Release the hands down to the inside of that right foot. So if you haven't already, we're tucking the left toes, lifting the knee, and then we're going to walk round to face the back edge of your mat and come through into your lizard pose there. So left foot out to the left a little bit more, give yourself some space. Drop the right knee down onto the mat if you wish. You can come down onto your forearms if you wish. Staying with your breath. And then coming back up onto your hands, maybe bring the right knee down for a moment, walk your left foot a little bit more back in towards the midline, thread your left arm underneath the left leg. So you can stay there. Again, we can tuck the right toes, lift the knee, you can lift your hands, float them out to the sides, or you can bind the hands behind your back. One more breath. Release the hands down. Now you're just going to walk your hands to face the long edge of your mat. So you've pivoted to face the long edge of your mat. Parallel your feet. Lengthen the spine on your in-breath, and on your out-breath, find a forward fold. You're walking the hands back between the feet if you can. Obviously it depends on your flexibility. A little bit of weight tipped into the front of the feet. Do not hang back in your heels. And then inhale, look up. So you find your halfway lift. We're going to bend the knees and then just pivot to face the front edge of your mat and step yourself back into plank pose. So we're going to find a side plank from here. Right hand to the centre of your mat. You can always use your forearm if you've got any wrist issues. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. If you want to add on, lift the left foot up away from the right. Keep breathing, one more breath. Left foot comes down. Come back through plank. Other side. Rolling onto the little toe side of the left foot. You can stack the right foot in front of the left foot if you're feeling wobbly, or you can drop your lower knee down onto the mat for more support. Right leg lifts if you want the add-on. Right foot come down. Come back through plank, and then we're going to put in a push-up. So come forward, so that bend the elbows behind you, lower down. Inhale, bring it back up. Take it back, downwards facing dog. Heavy through the heels, one more breath. And then inhale, come forwards through to plank again. We're going to do another push-up. Exhale, take it down. Inhale, bring it back up. And then we're going to lower all the way to the floor. Untuck your toes, hands underneath the shoulders. Gentle cobra. Really get a sense you're lifting up through the back of the heart space. And then on your exhale, bring it back down. Just have a couple of moments. Maybe rest the arms alongside you. Maybe there's a little bit of a wiggle through the hips. Stay connected to your breath.
So you can either repeat that cobra, or you can choose to come into Dhanurasana or boat pose. So either hands under shoulders, or bend up your legs and take a hold of your ankles, your feet with your hands, and as you inhale, start to lift up. So knees, you don't want to wing out to the sides too much, more towards a hip width than a winging out to the sides. Kick the feet away from you, lift up through the heart. Each inhale, you're looking for that lift. One more breath. And then exhale, release it down. Take a breath. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, legs bend up. So this time, if you're working with Dhanurasana, we're going to hold on to the insides of the feet. If you're wanting to take Cobra again, no problem, do that. So inhale, lifting up. Again, think about the heart drawing forwards, reaching up through the crown of the head. One more breath. And then exhale, release it back down. Again, just take a moment. Maybe there's a little a wobble of the hips from side to side. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders and find your way into your child's pose. Take one more breath here in your child's pose. And walk the hands back in toward you to come up through to seated. On your next in-breath, reach the arms up alongside the ears. So sitting up nice and tall. On your exhale, you're just going to simply twist to your right hand side. So left hand floats down to the right knee, right hand is behind you. Inhale, bring it back through to upright. Really lengthen up. Keep the length as you twist to your left. Inhale, reach it up, and then on your out breath, you're going to fold forwards again. So knees are together, so you've come through into a more supported child's pose. And we're going, now option one is that you just choose to stay here. We're going to add in a little bit of, it's called Shashankasana, hair pose. If you've got any issues with the neck or the head, or this just doesn't feel right for you, then please leave it out. Just stay in your child's pose. So as you inhale, we're going to roll up onto the crown of the head. Hold the feet as you do that. So hips lift up away from the mat. And you get a little bit of opening through the shoulders as you come up. And your exhale, we're going to bring it back down. So inhale, the same again. Roll up onto the crown of the head. Just working mindfully. Exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, come up again. And this time we'll stay here. So you can maintain this, or you can clasp your hands behind you and start to open through the shoulders, and then lift the feet up away from the mat. A couple of breaths. And then on your out breath, gently bring it back down. Release your arms back alongside you as you come back into your supported child's pose. Take one more breath here. And then your next in-breath, you're going to bring yourself through to upright, and we're going to lie ourselves back down on our mats for our Shavasana. So lying yourself back down. Just switching out the lights if it's a bit bright where you are. And just making sure you're undisturbed. Finding warm clothes if you need them, socks. Maybe just putting on a little bit of gentle, soft music. Once you're down and comfortable, just bringing awareness back to the breath. And letting your whole body relax. So enjoy your Shavasana, and I'll see you at our next session. Namaste.